All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Gauntlet. This is a brand new Rocket League tournament, and we're starting it up right here, live from the bedroom of the one, the only Yummy Cheese Man. My name is Pyrotechnics. I'm joined by Yummy, the expert of all things Australian Rocket League. How are you doing today, man?
Well, it's great. It's great to be in my bedroom, I guess. It's new. Look at there's a backdrop and there's things and stuff. It's good to be here. Thank you for joining me. And if you didn't know, this is Pyra.
Hello, everyone.
He's all the way from Germany / America.
By way of the US. I've been everywhere, man.
/ multiple places coming, and he's visiting OC for a few weeks and running this tournament with me, putting up some of the prize pool as well. Do you want to tell them a little bit about yourself?
Well, we have a little bit of time before we kick things off. So I'm a shoutcaster that's been mostly known for League of Legends over in Europe for a couple of years, and he's already like getting a bit sick, so I'll try to keep that to a minimum. But I'm doing a whole lot of different esports now, and one of them that I definitely want to get really out there and get some experience in is Rocket League. So you presented a wonderful opportunity to make this happen. This was all Yummy's idea, hence why it's called and the format is the Gauntlet, because that is his favorite format of tournament. And if you guys don't know what that is, effectively, and you should because you have him followed, Gauntlet is basically a format of tournament where one team plays another team, the winner goes on to the next round, and on to the next round. There are 4 teams in this Gauntlet, and they are the best that OCE has to offer.
So we are going to start with Justice Esports against Order, and then the winner of that will verse Chiefs, and the winner of that gets into the grand final against Icon, which I think a few people might be a little bit worried about. You know, Icon are the first seed. They were decided by the players. The seeding was unanimously chosen by the players. Icon is the number 1 seed, and Chiefs are number 2. So that is an interesting, turn of events. But we are going to see, for the first time, the top 4 teams in OC play against each other for the first time this year.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting stuff. And Icon, this will be the first time we'll see them play under that banner as well. This is the formerly known Tainted Minds team, which was, of course, a big staple of the Oceanic scene. So really excited to see how things shake out. But the first match, of course, is going to be Justice Esports taking on Order. And that's going to be a pretty big one as well. I'm expecting a banger here, Yummy.
Yeah, these teams are close. They haven't played each other. I guess none of these teams have, but they were in the qualifiers. They both made it easily through into RLCS League play, which was obviously massive for them. That means they guaranteed minimum $3,000, but these are 2 teams who are looking to cause the upset. This could be their chance to get into that top 2 today and really prove that they can make it to the World Championship, which is what everyone is really playing for. But, I mean, we have to look at it. This is March. This is the first time they're playing. This is kind of gives you a little bit perspective of the OCE scene right now and how few tournaments are. This is why we're running this. And now this is the chance, the one chance for Order and Justice Esports to prove themselves.
And they're going to have to run all the way through it because if they want to get to the top, you got to play 3 matches. It's best of 7. There are a lot of games of Rocket League, so each of these matches will be out of possible 7, which means teams are going to have to get 4 up over the other to try and get through to the next part. It's a big deal. It's a lot of games. It'll test your mental toughness, and it's only over the course of a few hours.
Yeah, the long run, if you try and make it to that grand final and you played best of 7s, especially because these guys haven't been playing a lot of Rocket League this year, that is where it gets grueling. It's really good practice for these guys too. But it's only 3 matches as well, so it could be longer. Hey, maybe if we do get a big prize pool, we can get some more teams coming in and we'll have a longer bracket. But for now, it's 3 best of 7s that'll take us through the evening.
Yeah, that also does remind me to point out all the donations that happen today will go into upcoming prize pools for other iterations of the Gauntlet. And if we actually end up hitting our goal, which should be the same amount that we put in for the start of this $120 Australian, we can guarantee that there will be a 3rd Gauntlet tournament. And we haven't set a date for that yet, of course, but we will let you know soon.
Which, of course, means third Gauntlet. We're already guaranteeing that there will be a second one. And if we reach that $120 prize pool, we'll run that second one next week. So we'll start really compacting them. But if we reach that $120 today, we'll definitely run a 3rd. No guarantees after that, but hopefully you guys enjoyed the tournament enough that want to keep it running. Hopefully we can get some support from a few different means as well, because I'd love to see more tournaments in the OC region, and we can't afford to put the prize pool up every single week, unfortunately. Maybe you can.
No, I can't. I'm not quite on that
We'll
level
send you
anymore.
back to
But
Germany,
yeah, there we
and
go.
then you can, it's like
I'm going to be your mysterious benefactor.
Well, like how when we get a divorce, you keep paying child support.
Paying OS support. Is that how that works?
OS support.
Okay,
Yeah,
Gauntlet.
that's a good
Interesting.
one.
All right, I'm not sure if I read the fine print in this particular
It's too
contract,
late.
but
You're already in my bedroom.
I might be completely screwed. Who
It's
knows?
already been consummated. So
Cool. Well, we're just a few minutes away from getting into the first match, and it looks like it's about to get going in just a little bit. But let's start talking a little bit about the teams that are participating in this first match, Yummy, because you are the expert. You're the guy who knows all about them, and we know we've had a couple of changes in some rosters.
Yep.
So talk me through the Order lineup first.
So Order have completely changed their lineup. We've seen Order from the days of old. It is new, but they've built it around Jules. Really important lineup for this because the other teams, and I would say Icon especially, are looking at Order as the potential second best team in the region. That is their biggest rival right now, and they have to first prove that against Justice Esports. Deca coming in from SYF Gaming, who came fourth in the RLCS qualifiers last season. Jules, who has been to the World Championship before with CJ from Icon, and Siki, who consistently plays at the top of OCE as well. So that is a star-studded lineup. They've got the experience, they've got the firepower. But if we talk about firepower, we really have to talk about Justice Esports.
Yeah, let's go into Justice. They are a 4th seed, so what can you tell me about these guys? Because they've got tournament participations and placements kind of up the wazoo.
For sure, and these guys work really hard. They're really, really desperate to get to this top. Last season, they were so close to making it into the finals, and they had a disaster with Wisp breaking his wrist and losing them their top 4 spot right at the last moment. But they've got a lot of firepower. They've got Steve.
Yeah, and now Wiss has actually been moved on to the substitute position, so we now see a new up-and-coming player, Misty. What can you tell me about him?
Well, Misty, he is, as you said, completely up-and-coming. He has not really played in a major tournament yet. He played a little bit of the Gfinity Elite Series alongside the Avant Gaming roster, who came last. And now he is back, but he has been putting in the work, and I really like seeing players like Misty because they get a little taste of it, and then they start playing 40, 50, 60 hours a week. They grind, they play every rank X, every rank S, every 6-man they can get their hands on, and try so hard to get to the top. And he's really worked on his mechanics. He is there.
Certainly seems to be the case. Looking forward to seeing what the young player from Justice and the rest of the lineup can really do here. It is going to be an uphill climb for both the teams to make it through, but it sounds like the burden of expectations certainly on the Order boys a little bit more here, whereas Justice, they have a new player in the mix. It's kind of about seeing what they can do.
Yep.
Now, all the teams that are in this tournament, I've talked about them being the best in OS, and they are all qualified for the RLCS Season 7, but Justice and Order had to go through the qualification system.
Yep.
How did the teams look in that particular event?
We didn't really get to see a lot of them, but Order were really convincing. They had the upper bracket run against a couple of tough teams, and against Dunk Driving, hard name to pronounce, they went and 3-1 them. It was pretty convincing. They had a very clean rest of the bracket, and they were straight through day one. Justice had maybe an easier side of the bracket. They didn't have any major names or anyone else who ended up qualifying that they had to beat, but they did that convincingly. But it's not really telling of how it goes. So they are there. They're in the top 8, and already, I do have to point out, a $10 donation from Reese Shelley Jones. Let's go the Chiefs. So he's cheering them on. Maybe if the Chiefs win, we'll give out a sub to that guy. But that is already $10 towards
the next prize pool.
Yeah.
Excellent stuff. Thank you so much for the donation as a part of this. And honestly, it's just great to see some high-level Oceanic Rocket League. And it looks like we are getting underway very soon here. Apologies for the delays, folks. Thanks for sticking with us while we have been resolving. It's been a couple of issues relating to audio and tech that the players and us are trying to sort out while it's going on.
Us. We asked the webcam for
a
while.
Yeah, we had a little bit of troubles getting this going. You guys should have seen the pre-setup. We kind of had all these different programs kind of running on. Yummy is like
I had to set up this bookcase. I've been promising this bookcase for 6 months.
I thought you were going to pretend that this was like something that had been around forever, but I guess your stream viewers would have called you out on it.
No, yeah, they've seen the corner of this room a few times now.
You could have pretended it was a different corner. You'd moved your desk or something. But no, this is the face of a man who is truthful. about things.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. But it looks like we are underway. We should be getting onto the field very quickly, and it is officially kickoff. We'll see the young player Misty starting to take one here on the orange side. We'll see how it all goes through. Order, Siki going to be grabbing that ball and hitting it up, trying to get the center off. Looking for Jules. Can't quite connect, and it gets turned back to Steve.
It's time for these players to really prove who can make it to the World Championship, who is going to be fighting with the top, and more importantly, who can maintain their Gauntlet position for the second week of the Gauntlet.
All you got to do is make it through, not get the last place, but that's what the teams are fighting against right now. The goal will come up first, and it's Misty. So Justice, strike first.
The first shot comes out, and it's Misty, the rookie coming through. The big shots, he's got the mechanics, and he beats out two defenders as well.
Yeah, that was a brilliant goal right there, and it was just a simple little tap-in, no trickery. Didn't even need a full center, but now it is 1-0, 30 seconds into the game. Misty takes the first touch. This is a guy who looks very hungry.
He's really solid mechanically. He needs to get those rotations down, but this is what we see with the Justice Esports roster. They're all about that firepower, get in your face, try and do a big solo play and draw you out of the net like they just did.
And let's see if Order can gain control of this one, because right now they've just been shuffling control of the ball. It's centered around midfield, keeps going back and forth a little bit. One shot goes a little bit wide to the right. And we're going to see Steve pick this one back up, and it just gets intercepted again. So things keep going back and forth. Order trying to get a lid on it before things get out of hand. And there's a demo. Steve knocks out Jules.
When it comes to this Order roster, we're really looking for those passing plays, and they're not quite coming out just yet. There's a good one from Justice Esports, who look to be playing the Order game just a little bit better.
They seem to be Steve trying to get the center off. Order are going to have to mobilize to get the defense up. And ball control just seems to be in favor of Justice right now. They know they can keep this lead going. A little collision there on top of the boost, and Steve is going to try and pick it up. A little bit of a miss, and the ball just bounces around quite a bit.
It's just going back and forth for the moment, and that's going to go in the favor of Justice Esports. Misty and Yeatsy getting really involved in the attack, and Steve is having a bit of an off day.
Certainly is, and very close to scoring there was Yeatsy, but Misty's going to be right there to pick the ball back up. They keep it solidly in Order's territory as Jules once again tries to clear it, but you can see every time he goes, there's a defender from Justice to try and pick it back up. Another shot attempt on goal, but Yeatsy is there.
Every single time it looks like Order's getting a touch, somebody from Justice Esports is there to intercept it immediately. The challenge is coming out, the 50s, and realistically, Justice have had the pressure the entire game until right now.
Just about, it seems. So trying to get it back into their own territory. A cheeky shot there from Jules, but it gets deflected immediately. Great defense being played by the Justice lineup. I was about to say it looked like it had turned into a goal because Jules finds one, picked up by Misty. A great defense to clear it.
Big saves coming out. That was 3 in a row. Look at these infields coming one after the other, and Justice Esports maintained just enough boost to keep intercepting.
Another demo comes through for Order, but it's simply not enough to maintain control of the ball. You can see Justice there living on the edge, but they're controlling this one well. 2 minutes left to go in this game. It is 1-0, still in favor of Justice from the start of it. Siki lining up, but it gets cleared once again. Yeatsy playing great defense.
That's really good from Yeatsy. He's the man who always stays back and lets Steve move forward, but we keep seeing Steve miss the ball. He's one of the best mechanical players on the pitch, or maybe even in OCE, and he cannot afford those misses.
He certainly cannot. It's only game 1 of the best of 7, but right now, Justice Esports are playing out of their minds to kick this off. With an early lead, they've gotten themselves into a position where they can just maintain it by continually controlling the ball. Deka tries to pick this one up off the ceiling. He's going to have to give it over to Siki, and Steve is there to intercept. Once again, Misty passing back to midfield.
It is important as well that this is a best of 7. So even if we see Steve have a slow start, he's got plenty of time to get back in, and plenty of time for Order as well to get those passes going. Here should be one. As it's a slow pass, it's immediately intercepted.
There's just so many changes of possession in this game, as this time we see a demo go in favor of Justice. Misty going to pick it up, turn it back around. Nobody's really maintained the ball for all that long, but that favors Justice as they continue to turn away Siki's advance.
Another opportunity that's just not really there, as Deka keeps trying to get these passes off, but they're slow, and you can't be slow against Justice Esports.
Misty going to get a demo off onto Jules. Siki picking up the ball, trying to push it back in. Yeatsy once more defending, clears the middle. Jules has to turn, trying to pick this one back up on top of the boost. A defender zooms by him, and Steve is there to try and knock him loose. Once again, 39 seconds remaining. Order running out of time to score.
Working hard, but not hard enough is Jules. Putting on some plays in the attack, and now it's getting turned around. They're going to get counterattacked shortly as Steve is in the center field.
You can see a little bit more desperation coming out of the Chiefs. Jules will try to move this one back up. Siki picks it up. Going forward, Steve is hot on his heels. Yeatsy there. Misty looking for the defense. Jules going for a center, but there's just no one to pass to. 10 seconds remaining. This is the last of it here. They need to make something out of nothing. Jules sends it up to the top, but it hits the crossbar. Unfortunately, it looks like it's going to be all it. Trying to go for a goal on the Order side. They don't even need it. Justice will take game one.
That's a huge start, and right at the end there, the one chance for Order to get back, and they could not get that ball out. They could not make the save and maintain an attack. First game going over to Justice Esports. They are not the favorites here.
No, 4th seed, and this was decided by the players based on relative strength, agreement, all of that kind of stuff. Justice already off to a good start, and the goal came in the first 30 seconds.
It was a big goal to get, and we said they just need to get that big solo play, draw them out of the defense, and that's exactly what Justice Esports did. They found where Order was not quite happy. They were a little bit shaky in that defense, and then they punished, because there were 3 people in net. They were sort of ready, just not in the right positions. No one ready to intercept.
Order started getting very defensive later on in that game. You could see everyone pulling back, like you said. But at first, they were kind of flying up the middle, and that's what enabled that early goal. It seemed like it took them by surprise.
And I felt like Order did get better. They found those passes in the midfield, mid-game. But again, so slow. They need to speed up this play and try and outpace Justice.
All right, we're on into game number 2 right now, and it looks like it got touched once again by Misty to start things off, but it does move over into Justice territory as they pick it back up. Yeatsy going to be the one controlling this ball as it crosses midfield. Jules passes back once again. Steve picks it, and it's over to Yeatsy once more. Already on to the attack. Our Justice in game number 2. We'll see if Order can really start to turn things around here. Maybe just shaking off a little bit of rust at the start of the tournament.
Good to see from Steve. He didn't execute that fully, but he had the right idea and he got the double touch, which is more than what he was getting in that last game. This could be what lets Justice Esports run away.
Let's see if they do it. Already over in favor of Order. They had it on the Justice side of the field. It keeps getting passed up, but Misty is always there for the defense, and he's been really great, this young player, at picking up so many of these drop balls. Yeatsy's going to grab one for himself and just try to move it on in, but Siki picks it up off the top of his head, turns back over. It's in Misty's hands once more. Yeatsy clearing into the middle. This time Misty stays on the top. He knocks it back, trying to center it for the shot. In goes Steve, looking for an opportunity, and he won't find anything. Order have started to tighten up their corners here.
And look at Justice Esports running back. There was still opportunity to be on attack. They've given it away to Order, who has the opportunity, but not quite this time.
And that's just the story of so many of these Order attacks. They just run out of gas at the last minute. Jules trying to get it up over to Deca now, and you can see them controlling it, but not well enough. Slipping through is Misty once again, looking for a cheeky angle inside. Yeatsy's not too far behind him ever. And there's Steve lining it up for another shot, and it goes in! Steve starts it off for Justice.
That's a huge shot, and Order were not expecting it to come so fast. Jules, not the best clear out, and he gets punished immediately. 1-0 for Justice Esports.
Starting to look a little bit more like the last game. 3 minutes and some change left to play. We'll go back to kickoff. Jules takes it this time around. Yeatsy is going to go ahead and hurt it back through, picks up some boost on the way. And all of a sudden, things start to look a bit grim, but there, Siki manages to even the score within 6 seconds of kickoff.
A quick turnaround on the kickoff, and Yeatsy was not expecting that dunk. He didn't think a player was there at all, and that's how Deca was able to win it so hard. He gets the surprise factor, and that opens up the net.
Slipping through the defenses there, and maybe this is where Justice start to get a little bit overconfident. They get evened up on, so now it's 1-1. We'll see how that changes the way they play. It starts out in Order's favor this time. Deca's going to ride the wall, looking to center it in. Goes very close, but this time it's batted away. Second attempt setting up by Jules. Here's Siki here on the center, but they're just bobbling the ball as the demo comes in. Steve takes out Jules, and Yeatsy is there, but he misses it. Actually just tips it back and away, trying to get it centered himself.
We really see Siki as well, being in the right position at the right time. He's always ready for those touches. Really good predictions. This is a worrisome clear, but Deca follows that up just well enough.
Then our eyes on Siki once again, trying to get it up to the top, pushes it back and away. Deca not going to pick that one, and Yeatsy's actually going to send it right back into Order territory once more. This is starting to look more like the Justice we saw throughout most of Game 1, controlling the ball just better than their opposition.
And we're really finding out what each of these teams have right now.
Close
That
call.
is a big save, though, from Misty. It was a follow-up there. He gets to the side of the post and just manages to squeeze it out.
Classic caster curse. I tell them they're giving good possession, and they give it up almost immediately here. That's the second shot on goal, and it just hits the backboard just barely. Yeezy going to go ahead and send it centered, but Siki is there to try and push that back again. Now Steve going through, looking for a ball opportunity, not going to find it as Jules clears away. Deca riding this wall once again. Order don't want to give this one up. Back over to Misty. Takes a shot, almost out of nowhere, and Yeetsy's right there, taps it in for the second.
You hate to see that from Jules. Another defensive mistake, but it's all set up. This big play from Misty gets it high and over the top when Jules was looking to save the shot. And now, Justice Esports again running away with the game.
Already 1-0 up in their best of 7, and now, with less than half the time left to play, they've got themselves an advantage. 1 minute and 38 seconds left for Order to try and equalize. Last time they did it in 6 seconds, but it's going very differently here. Siki's going to have to pick up the ball. Taps it back over. Misty's there to intercept, and this guy's just got so many touches to turn the possession around. Let's see if they can keep it away from their own goal, though. Steve, Misty, up on the wall, waiting for the defense here. Deca trying to lead this one in. He's got an open shot, but it's not going to get the opportunity to take it. Siki's there. It's back, but Steve is going to tap it back and away. And once again, Justice foiling all the attacking attempts by Order.
They're doing a lot of intercepts here in the defense, waiting for those passes to happen and then getting in between, making sure that there's no shots that are really scary, and Order just aren't passing fast enough.
2 demos! They just got 2 Order members taken out, and they nearly sunk another shot, but unfortunately, it goes a bit wide to the right here. And 48 seconds left remaining. Order running out of time once more. Deca's going to have to move this one off the post here, and it gets picked up once again by the members of Justice. They are not content sitting back and just letting the game end. They want to score more.
They're so aggressive every single moment. They're in the lead and they're still content, just piling on the pressure, getting those demos, putting the ball back in attack. It's really hard to score. This is Order's last opportunity.
One last chance. Yeezy going to go forward using the last of his boost to clear through. Jules intercepting once again, but they just can't quite open up a shot. And you can see Steve is going to bobble this one, knock away. We've got 10 seconds left to go. Order are running out of time, and they'll need to make a desperate attempt unless they can keep this in the air. Yeezy going to move it back over, and this is going to be it. Game number 2 going to Justice. 2-0.
Yeezy catches them off guard. He gets it over the top of them, and Order Esports, they were meant to be comfortably number 3, and Icon even said that they were potentially the second best team coming into this competition. But right now, Justice are making that statement, 2-0 in the lead.
So I got to ask you a question that I posed at the beginning of this last game. Is this rust right now? Is this just a lack of practice, a lack of events for Order, or do you just see something fundamentally wrong here?
I definitely think, well, it's both. It's because of the lack of events. Order have not been able to play together. Yeezy and Steve have been playing together for 6 months. They've had that experience. They know how to play under pressure with each other. They know what they're going to do when they're a little bit nervous or they're playing for high stakes. Deca, Siki, and Jules, it's their first tournament together, and you can really see their execution of passes is not there. They're slow. They're not taking the risks that are inherent in a really quick infield right in front of your opponents and then sinking that shot.
Yeah, and where they're falling down, I really want to give a lot of credit to the young player, Misty. We've talked him up quite a bit, but he's been almost everywhere on the defense, on the offense. He got the first goal of this match for Justice. And since then, he's pretty much been intercepting balls left and right. Now, we're going on into Game 3 now. I want to see if his form keeps up and if Order can find an answer and stop the bleeding here, because they're just 2 games shy of getting knocked out of the Gauntlet.
Is the time to shine. Justice Esports, not only could they make a statement in beating Order, but they have the chance to do this in a 4-0 fashion if they take the next 2 games.
Well, they're going to control the ball, move it back over to the Order side, and it looked like it was starting decent for Order, but they just lose so much control, and you can see that Justice are just never afraid to zoom up to a ball, use as much boost as possible, and take the off chance they can get it, and it keeps surprising them on the Order side. But Steve does get demoed down by Jules here. Siki in prime position to pick it up. Yeezy is going to intercept, though. It's back over to Misty, and they just have a great little 1-2 punch on that Justice side. They send it flying back across midfield again.
And Siki was so ready. He was pushed up. He was trusting his teammate so much for that pass, and that is why he was able to win the race at that point.
He sends it once more back over to the Justice side. Misty is there in the goal. Steve going to come back through and gets knocked up by Yeetzy. Almost full boost. He uses a little bit of it to keep this one in the air. It gets passed back. Misty there in the goal to defend once more. Jules trying to get an opening shot. But this is what is so hard for Order. They seem to just never get an opportunity to get a shot on goal. Deca comes in, immediately gets turned away. Misty sending the ball flying back into the hands of Steve, and we're stuck at midfield.
Three challenges in a row from Jules, and that's still not enough. Where is the follow-up from the Order players? They need to make the comeback. They need the confidence, and it's not going to come from that.
Jules takes control of it this time. He tries to walk this one in, and bit of a miss from Steve, but there is a misdirect, or a redirect, I should say, as Deca picks this back up, turns around. Deca takes out Misty on the demolition, and now Steve is going to try and pick up this ball. Misty going to send it flying. It's open, but Deca was there for the defense. This time, at least, Order have played a better defensive opening.
And more confident as well. They have a chance here. If they get this next goal, that's their way back into the series.
Just need to find the right opportunity, and they're not getting given it here by Justice. They'll have to punch a hole through. Deca going to lead the ball forward. It's centered. Jules going for it. Almost sinks it, but there's two defenders.
Such good work from Deca. He faked out the double touch. He almost had it. Still made the defense scramble. But still, Steve is so good in that scrambling moment that he was able to get it out.
And neither team is really getting a whole lot of shots at the moment. So while it's a series lead here for Justice, they're not finding a lot of opportunities. 2 minutes, 30 seconds left remaining, and that's going to be one. Deca finds the shot in Order, finally take the lead.
It's the backboard that ends up being the friend of Order, and it still took such a big play from Jules to open up the net. The double touch still doesn't go for the shot, gets the pass across, and it is the first time that Order have been in the lead.
Let's see how Justice respond. Misty will take the first touch. It goes Steve's way, but Siki is going to try and line up a shot. It's a slow builder here. Deca was looking for an opening. Instead, he'll have to settle to try and keep possession of the ball. Jules keeps this one closer to the net. But you can see Justice are not keen to let him have another opportunity on the backboard.
You see way more confidence coming out from Deca. He just missed another one. As Yeetzy does as well. Maybe both teams, a little bit of rust coming into this competition.
Yeah, ball control, not necessarily what you want to see early on. There's going to be the pickup, and Siki looking to try and march this one in, but it does get pushed back and tries to grab that ball, but it's picked up once more. Misty going to send this one flying, trying to center it. And he's just been all over the map, this young player. This game especially, as Yeetzy tries to center the ball.
He's so fast as well. That's what we're seeing. You know, the mechanics, he's beating out the players. I would say maybe not quite in the right positions, and that's just going to come with experience.
Certainly not lacking for any level of aggression or ferocity in that player. He's hungry to try and score as many as he possibly can. Deca going to look to try and get this into the goal zone. It's going to get pushed back and away once more. Jules keeping this one at midfield, but gets demoed, so now it's going to be marched in by Steve. Misty centers, looking for Yeetzy, gonna get turned back again. 1 minute and 10 seconds left to play, and now it's Justice that need answers.
And we're seeing a lot coming out of this Justice attack. There's demos, and there were passes, there were pressure plays, and yet still, Order hold on. Some really good avoidance by Deca, and he was important in that defense.
Bit of a juggle up top. Deca's gonna take this and clear it all the way past midfield once again. Jules stopped by Yeetzy as he gets up to the top of the wall. Yeetzy's going to push it back once again. But 44 seconds remaining. And Order seems like they finally found their groove. It's a low-scoring game. Let's see if they can make this one count. Deca is going to clear it away as Yeetzy tried to get the ball into a center position. Steve going to do the same. Tossed back by Jules. We're down to 30 seconds here, Cheeseman.
Most importantly, Order look comfortable. They're not rushing, they're not panicking in defense. That's normally what you see when you have a team with only a 1-goal lead, with so little time to go. They get in their shell, and that's how they lose. They're still taking it to this Justice Esports roster.
Playing not to lose can work when you're up a goal right now. Not a lot of opportunities left, and now we're 5 seconds away. Order just going to keep this one as far away from the net as they possibly can. One last chance, if that is all Justice are going to get. Still up on the top, and it's going to not quite fall down yet, but there it goes in front of the net. Order take a game, and we're 2-1 in the series.
So close right at the end. The goal line was beckoning, and Yeetzy just couldn't quite tip it over. But still, that was an important game for Order. They really picked it up. They felt a lot more solid, and they weren't getting those really slow touches, those misplays in that front half.
They weren't. They played a lot safer defense, and not just by sitting everyone at midfield or in their own side of the field. It was really just a dynamic effort there. And a great goal by Deca. It was, as you pointed out, very meticulously set up, but Order seemed to play that out with a game plan. All you need is one goal up over your opposition to win, and now they're back in the series.
There's a little bit of worry right at the end there, and you can kind of see where they all ran to the net and there was no one ready to challenge. But they're not doing that the rest of the game. I think if they get a 2-0 lead at any point in time and play like they did in the last minute, then they should be able to take out the win.
So what do you think, if anything, we can see Justice taking from that one as we get underway for game number 4 here? Deca going to start things off and gets cleared away by Yitzi.
It was a really interesting game as well because it was so low scoring low shot opportunities from both teams. And I think they just need to take a few more risks. It's usually what I associate with Justice Esports, so it doesn't feel like they're playing to their strength.
Well, maybe they'll start to find a little bit of those strengths, shaking off some rust of their own perhaps here. We get underway, already had a demo or two, and you can see Order trying to get a little bit more bold as they send it very close to the net, but it gets turned away at the last second. Steve has been cruising to try and knock this one away, and Misty once more gets the clear off, picked up by Siki. It's back over to midfield, trying to tap it backwards into the net here, and you can see Yitzi on the defense once more. Justice having a hard time maintaining control of this ball, but they are doing a great job of defending.
Siki's being so consistent. That flip reset right there was right enough, and Steve takes it over the top. But again, it's Siki, the consistent player here for Order.
And it's going to go in this time on the second iteration. Misty knocks it in, and they thought it was cleared on the Order side, but Yitzi does a great job of centering this. Misty, what a beautiful tap-in.
The angle was perfect as well to get it past Jules. Siki had pushed out, thinking that Decker had got it, but he got dunked completely to the backboard. And again, we see Justice Esports taking the lead here in Game 4.
Slipping through the defense of Order, 1-0 up with just shy of 4 minutes left to play. Yitzi centers this one into midfield. It's a bit of a bobble, though, and you can see it start to move back towards the Justice lineup. Steve will push the ball away. That was a very dangerous clear, but no one was really there to take advantage of it. Now Siki going to be kicking himself after what happened last time around. Tries to make up for lost time there and push it forward, but Steve kind of baits him out. Jules knocking it back on a reset. Picks up a little bit of boost here, and it's going very dangerously close to the Order net, but they send it back the other way.
These aggressive plays as well. Steve hanging on their backboard, that's what I'm talking about. Getting some risks in, and almost paid off as well. For the first time, Misty gets outspared by Decker.
Got to run out of boost sometime. Great clear there by Yitzi. Has been excellent on the defense all series long. Misty in the front, trying to get this one centered and available for a goal to add to the score they've already picked up here. It's maintained possession by Justice, but there are still challenges coming out of Order.
We've seen about 6 infield passes right in front of the net of Justice Esports by Order. And there's still not a single one has been converted. They keep hitting the ball to the right or the left, missing the post, just not getting the shot on, and you need to start executing.
Running out of time, absolutely. A couple of demos flying by in the last few seconds there. Steve going to go try and send this one off to right field. On the Order side of the map, Yitzi is going to center it up once again. Nobody really there to take advantage of it, but Steve just coming out of nowhere trying to challenge for possession. But Deca is going to turn him away again before picking up a full charge of boost. Sends it, center, that's a slow one, but it gets knocked up at the last second by Yitzi. Once again playing a brilliant defense.
2 people ready to defend as well, and that could be the miscommunication that cost them right here, but again it hits the side post, number 7.
Oh, it's so close, and you just hate to see it. Order have gotten so close so many times, but physics just not their friend this time around, it seems like. Steve is going to try and march this one up. They need to get it out of Justice territory. 2 minutes left to play. Order desperately need an equalizer.
This could be one of those frustrating series that you really feel like you've done more than your opponents. You've taken so many shots, but they just haven't gone in, and now Order are facing a potential match point here. Only 1 minute 40 left to go.
Still maintaining control is Justice, trying to get this one once more into the net of Order. Steve on the high, tries to push it back. Deca's there for the defense, and you got to wonder at what point does this start to get into the heads of Order. So many close calls, so many misplays by inches. Back over to Jules. He sends it, centered. Still, no one to follow up, and it's all orange on that side of the pitch. Deca's going to pick this up. 1 minute, 10 seconds left to play. Order yet to have a great shot on goal in the last minute. Sending it centered. Once again, it's going to knock in! And Jules is going to find the equalizer. Desperately, what Order needed.
The quick pass plays that we were looking for. Jules Sickie back straight to Jules off the backboard. And just enough to get around this Justice Esports defense.
And a little unwitting assist there from Misty. So all of a sudden, this series starts to get a little bit more interesting, Yummy. 1 minute left to play as we hit kickoff again. Let's see which teams emerge here. Order on the attack. Steve there to defend it. Pushes him back off the ceiling. Misty going to send this one flying onto the Order side, but we might go into overtime here.
I think we are 50 seconds, and none of these games have been high-scoring affairs so far.
Definitely not the case. It's all been a game of inches, 1 score to 2, 1 score to none, things like that. But we're all tied up, and if Order can take this game away, they can really neutralize what was a flying start for Justice and even the series up 2-2. We're down to 30 seconds before OT.
That's a clever touch as well, but it's not going to be enough. Order defense holding on strong, but will they have enough boost to get past everyone running away from the ball? And a miss coming out from Jules. This is the opportunity now for Justice Esports.
They've got 14 seconds. Can they make the most of it right now? Trying to center, but desperately mobilizing our Order here. Jules going to center it back over to Misty once again, looking for the shot. Deca goes for the clear. 5 seconds and counting. Who's going to pick this one up in the last second? Yeezy sends it up, and if they can't make something out of this, it's it! They get it in the last second! You've got to be kidding me!
Right.
We have no OT!
On the buzzer, 0 seconds remaining, and look at the patience from Yeezy. He lets Jules rush, thinking that he's got an immediate shot, takes it slower, gets it past them. And that is so important because everyone was on panic stations. They were pressing every button on the console. And then finally Yeetsy's like, it's all right, guys, I got it.
The calm defender on the aggressive team knocks it in for a brilliant buzzer beater. And wouldn't you know it, Yummy? 3-1, we're on match point.
I just like how as well the stream would have heard me bashing the table.
That's what you call budget sound effects.
Yeah. But that is Justice Esports on match point. And again, Order were the favorites coming into this match. And now all of a sudden, they're facing a potential 4-1. They have to make what is, in a best of 5, a full reverse sweep, winning 3 games in a row. Considering how back and forth this has been for them as well, that's going to be so tough.
Yeah, and this is just really showing, I think, the difference in synergy of established teams. Order coming in with players that had not been able to train as well together, really only getting practice sessions and no events. Here we are on this stage, and that 6 months that Yeezy and Steve have had together are shining through, and Misty's honestly hardly missed a beat. We've had so little to criticize this new player for, and that's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, the only time that we really saw a big mistake was in him getting outsped by someone else. And considering how many times he's outsped someone on Order, I think you can forgive him for that one play.
Now let's see if Justice can keep counting on him as we kick off for game number 5. Match point here, 3-1 in favor of Justice Esports. The underdogs coming in hot. Looking for another goal to start things off. Yeezy nearly gets it in, but it gets turned around at the very last second. I believe it was Jules that pulled off the save.
He needed to use the crossbar as well. It was a difficult save to make, and Yeezy just putting on the shots after such a big performance in to stop that overtime last game.
Oh, so close. And once more, trying to knock this one in. Jules is going to find an opportunity, but it gets turned away, and it just seems like every single time Misty's going to make another shot out of nowhere, a quick 1-2 punch.
And that is Steve's specialty, off the wall, getting the pass. Look at him wait for Sickie to come in, draws him in slowly, and then bang, the 1-2 pass so fast. That is what Order have been missing all game, and just to show him how it's done.
It's not the first time that's happened either. Order got to be taking notes about that game. 4 minutes, 10 seconds still to play, and a lot of time for Order to equalize. They try to get a big shot there, but every time it seems like it's going to go in the slow way. It's a nice and easy defense out of 2 members of Justice. Once again, pushing the ball back past midfield. Yeezy has been on the attack this game now, looking for an aggressive position to knock one in.
And he stole the boost as well. It's not just aggression in terms of demos and getting those shots on, but they're stealing away all the resources from Order as well.
And this is why it seems like every time you can see Justice just beating Order to the punch, just a little faster as they try to go for the goal. Sickie there, once again, off the post, not quite close enough to make it count, and it turns immediately in favor of the Justice Esports lineup. Misty going to knock that one up. It goes a little bit too high, but you can see him never stopping, always picking up as many of the boosts as he possibly can. Ball goes cleared once again, but it's moved back almost immediately. Here's Misty on the shot, goes up through the crossbar. Yeatsy trying to pick it back up, but it's just sailing over his head. He's going to have to go back the long way.
You really see, there's no one backing up the players on order. There's been passes happening, but no one in that passing position to receive it. This is usually what happens when people get nervous in a competition, but this is just a community event. It's for $120. They should be able to perform under this level of pressure.
You would hope so, but still a lot to be said for this Justice lineup, who are giving them a lot more than they might have bargained for. To start things off, Siki will find a big opening and equalize really out of nowhere. Where were the defenders from Justice?
I mean, Yeatsy was there, and his teammates thought he had that touch. You cannot afford to miss that type of touch in this competition. Steve was not ready for it, but the Order players saw it coming from a mile away.
And Order, they do take a very calculated play all the way into the net. This is going to breathe some new life into this team, and we've been a little down on them, talking about pressure getting to them. But how about the opposite, feeling a little too overconfident? It seems like that's what happened, and look at what it happens again. Siki picking up a second.
So now Order get the counter-attacks going. They see that no one is there ready on defense, and Siki up to it so fast, gets that ball high in the top corner of the bins, and that meant that no one could get back in time.
Wow. All of a sudden, the tables have turned here on to Justice Esports. It'll still be a long climb for Order to put this one all the way away, but you can see they're playing with a new fire. 2-1 up, 2 minutes, 20 seconds left to play. Steve's going to pick the ball up and turn it back Misty's way. It's all about maintaining ball control now for Justice. If they can knock one in, force an overtime, they can still take this in 5 games. But if not, we're going to number 6. Backboard, pushback. Steve tries for the second wind. Jules is there for the defense, and it goes back Order's way.
Can't rely on those double touches. Like Yeatsy, another brilliant setup, but Order are figuring this out, what they're trying to do. That is the play, that quick one too. Can they get the follow-up off this pressure?
But now you can see Order are wary of it, and they're tracking the ball. It's going to get pushed back and around, and all of the members are there in the front, and well, nobody is defending home. Jules just takes it in. Knock, knock, knock. And it's a 3-1 game for Order.
Counter-attack number 3. Justice just wanted that goal so badly. And Jules turns it around. Decker almost messed it up though. Jules and Decker both going for that same shot when they had plenty of time.
We're seeing the flip side of some of this heedless aggression here now for Justice. And with 2 goals to make up and 1.5 minutes left, it seems like hope is dimming on this game.
Completely the way of Order right now. And not just in terms of the scoreline, but the opportunities as well. And we don't want to see Justice crumble, but that might be it. That is the 4th goal. And another massive mistake in defense.
Siki picks himself up a hat trick in this game, and you can see Steve is not in the right position. Nobody from Justice seems to know how to respond, and the wheels have come off.
Steve is meant to be that star player. He should be hitting that, a big clear all the way down the other end of the pitch, and if he's playing like this, he's not going to be able to take down the likes of Chiefs and Icon later in the day.
Yeah, there's a lot more tough competition to contend with, and adding insult to injury, this one's getting out of hand. Jules sinks another shot, picking a goal up for himself, and this one is over.
This is ridiculous, and we have to point out, all of their other shots, they were off the side post. They didn't need to be defended. The first time Siki banged that on net, the defense had to struggle to get up to it, and that was what allowed Jules to follow up.
Yeah, this game has just gotten so out of hand here if you're Justice. They're going to have to just completely wipe this one from their memories, move it back in, get some more ball control, and just use the next minute to play controlled Rocket League. You need to take a rein on some of that aggression, not leave everybody in the front, and have nobody at home. Trying to go for a goal. Steve gets it, but, you got 52 seconds to make up 3 more.
It's a good, respectful goal. Getting that backboard. Decker not quite ready for that backboard either. He was looking at the shot, and Steve to finish it off. So we've seen that a lot from these guys, and if they can pick that up in the next game, they should be able to close out the series.
All right, so Justice, make no mistake, still leading in the series right now, but they definitely had this game get away from them. Easy guns to send it flying for a pretty optimistic shot, but Decker's there for the defense. Down to 40 seconds remaining, and it does seem to be the game plan for Justice is to just not give anything else away. Need to shore up that defense. Deca goes in for a challenge, picks it back up. Misty's there to push the ball back once again. Bobbles it up to the top. Jules is going to intercept, turn it back around. Bit of a miss there from Misty. So starting to see a couple of cracks in some of this offensive ability from the rookie player. Back over to Jules. 16 seconds in this game, Yummy.
Well, now you just see there's order in the Justice Court because they have just taken it 5-2. They've put their stamp on this competition, banged the gavel, and they are starting to bring this back. 3 seems impossible, you know? That is a really difficult run to make. But now it's just 2 games that Order have to do, and they just went 5-2. The amount of confidence they're sitting on to make this comeback is going to be unreal.
You've got to think this definitely turns their mental around. And after a rough start, remember, they went down 0-2, really didn't have much to show for it. 1 goal that then gets counteracted almost immediately, and Justice were flying high. They're going to have to check themselves because in that game, they wrecked themselves.
Most importantly, the first 3 games that they lost, Justice Esports got the goal lead and kept it. This time, Justice Esports got that goal lead and then Order completely smashed through it. That is the type of turnaround that we like to see. Order might just be able to make this into a Game 7.
We might just get there, but for right now, we've still got to play out Game 6. Here we go. It is 3-2 in favor of Justice Esports, but Order on the offensive to start this one off. Siki's going to pick up the ball here, but it gets turned back over to Steve, goes for the center, and you can see that it's the same Justice Esports game, looking for that early goal that can then turn into game management. But Siki is there to make sure it doesn't happen, trying to go back, charging forward. That's going to be the rest of Order, and it goes off the backboard up in the top. Jules going to clear this one away. Not keen to give up another early score. They've seen that movie too many times.
Deca just releasing that pressure once again with that miss. You can't afford it.
Full boost there for Siki, but he misses the ball. Steve gets the center. Yeetsy's there, but he gets denied a shot attempt this time around and has to zoom back. It's Misty going to pick this one back up and clear it, but it's a slow-flying ball here, which means it's easy pickings for Siki to turn it around. Steve bobbles it back up, and we have a lot of changing possession in this game, Yummy.
It's just going back and forth, and it's just these little mistakes that are coming out. A miss here or a mistouch there.
That's a center ball. Oh, last second, Deca clears it away. I thought that was going in.
That was not quite enough. It needed to be placed on the other side of the net to be the goal, but it's still setting up those pressure plays just by putting a shot on and making it hard to clear.
Yeah, not going to give Order a whole lot of time to breathe here, despite what they did in the last game. This is still very much match point. A demolition comes in for Steve onto Jules. Going to clear the way. Missy's going to try to take this one forward to get stopped short. Jules comes back up. Deca's going to get the clear off, and Yeetsy's there to recenter the ball again, picking up the boost. You can see Justice continuing to grab all those resources. Here we go, going forward. Stopped again by Jules. There's the second attempt for Misty. Cleared up and again, but this is still dangerous for Order.
There's so many plays that it just has to be one person from Order defending. This time it was Jules, saving the first, getting in the way of the second. We're not seeing the defensive pass. Normally you'd expect them to get that 1-2 going and get the clear. This could be a goal, but
very close.
Just enough for Siki.
This time, Yeetsy is in position to deny it once more, and it's going back in! Steve gets the score! That looked like an own goal.
This is so confusing. Steve was up, he chases it down, and Jules was backwards. It's just because Yeetsy and Steve are in the same position. It's so hard to read for that defender, and you can see why he wasn't able to make the save. Because 2 people were going for that same ball.
Sometimes you get your wires crossed, miscommunications, and unfortunately for Order, it means we've got another 1-0 game. Just under 3 to play. Here in game number 6, trying to equalize, gets turned around by Yeetsy again. And it's all Order trying to take the attack. They equalize. Siki's going to take the score.
What a bloody read from Siki. Are you kidding me? Right off the backboard, he's up before it hits and finds the angle, and it's perfectly placed. This man, he's just been so good throughout this series. He's the one that you expect to be hitting the ball every time, but that is on the next level. 1 apiece now.
All of a sudden, things start to get real interesting, and that Game 7 is very much alive right now, Yummy. Misty going to take this ball, turns it back. Steve managing to take possession of it again, and once again, this patented counterattack play from Justice staying strong, but they're going to have to find another score, or OT's coming in.
Really does look like it again, but I thought that almost pinched off the attacker back into their own net.
Oh, that would have been a little bit of a roughie right there. Yeezy sends it back. He knows this time Misty is there for the defense. They've been doing pretty great today. Last game notwithstanding, at really turning away a lot of these order attacks. Deca picks the ball back up. He turns it around once again, but he finds that it goes back onto his side of the pitch. Misty's here, misses the opportunity. Steve, though, doesn't need to actually get in there because Jules didn't quite take the shot, but it's still in a dangerous position. Cleared at the last second by Misty. Misty on the second attempt. It's centered again, and Steve turns it back and away. Order, though, this is a whole new level of attack.
But all of Justice Esports still have boost. They were able to keep all of their resources throughout that pressure play, and that means that they can hold the defense, but finally the big shot comes through from Jules.
You gotta be kidding. Right in the top left corner, Jules sends this one flying with a nice little boop, and Steve is nowhere close enough.
What a confidence booster. He was the main culprit for hitting that side post earlier and doing those soft shots. Now he's banged it from halfway into a spot of the net that's perfect, and looking like they could go to Game 7.
This one could very well go the distance in the beginning of the Gauntlet. Good portent for the tournament, absolutely. And all of a sudden, Justice, the underdogs who had started 2-0 up, on the precipice of losing out their entire lead and their tournament hopes resting on one single game. Steve there to push this one back. The game is still winnable right now, but they need to find a score and force overtime, and we're down to 1 minute and change.
The unfortunate thing is they're not getting these passes. They're hitting the ball across the net, getting these big clears, but it's giving possession over to Order.
Order still on the attack, trying to find an opportunity to put this one away for good here, but Justice not going to be denied. Yeezy goes up, but he can't quite sink it in. Just goes way too high off the backboard. It turns around once more. Slow march. Misty there to push it back. Not quite enough as Deca trying to steal away the momentum. Misty going to center it. Steve knocking it forward, but this is the long shot, and it goes off the backboard again.
With 1, 2, 3, and it's all in the defensive half. No one really to follow up with an attack. But it gives them the clear, and it's set up this play. There is a chance for Misty, but he could not get around the ball.
He does a little speedy zoom through there, trying to get it in, but it just goes a little bit too far to the right. It's going to get picked back up by Misty. Centers it again, looking for the opportunity for Yeezy, but Siki and Deca there to defend. 14 seconds remaining. It's all Justice to try and make this happen, but a great clear by Siki is going to make that a lot more difficult. 5 seconds.
Getting it behind them, so important, and 4 seconds left, but Justice has been shut down.
And that's going to be it, unless they can keep this one bobbled for the rest of the duration. Not going to get an opportunity. Siki looking to knock this one to the ground. It goes up, it goes close, and it's over! Order take the win, and we've got ourselves a Game 7.
No way. I thought it was over. Justice Esports looked so in control of this series, and Order have brought that back. Again, another chance right at the very end of that game for Justice Esports to potentially sneak it under, but it was well maintained. You can see the experience of that Order defense just to hold out and just shut down any chance of that going above the defense.
Yeah, they saw flashbacks to the last game there, Yummy, and they realized, no, this is not going to happen twice to us. They shut it down, maintain the lead, and the momentum has completely flipped. We've got a Game 7, and Order are going in off a big win streak now.
Not only that, they took the 5 goals from the previous one, only let in 1 goal from this one, and they've looked good. They're starting to get their shots on target. And that was what we were saying they weren't doing at the start of this series. They were fine in the midfield. They were getting those passes going, but there was no speed to them, and they were missing. Well, they've got their passes going, and it shows why they are the number 3 seed here.
Little practice on a little bit perfect towards the end of it all, so Order controlling it well. As the favorites have reasserted themselves, we get ready for game number 7. And it does seem like it's only this first stage of the Gauntlet, but already the stakes keep getting higher.
We were debating whether it was a best of 5 or a best of 7. It doesn't matter. It's come down to a best of 1 at the end of the day. It all comes down to this one game.
And we've got kickoff. 5 minutes to play. Deciding who will make it on to the next round and who will have to go through a qualifier to make the next Gauntlet. Misty starts it off hot, and he just tags that one in.
And it's the rookie again. Just to take this Justice Esports team to the next level. What a read. That is so hard to get it off the top corner, time it to perfection in the top right. But now Misty, that might be enough just for himself, but they'll need to get 1 more goal to secure.
That they will. 4 minutes, 40 seconds left to play here, and Let's see if Order are stunned. They are absolutely not. Siki follows through on an equalizer within 10 seconds.
Yep, Order just don't give a damn. Look at this, and Misty went off for the boost. The first touch, not good enough, and Siki's just going to get that every time.
And it touched the crossbar at the top, but it's just enough momentum to knock it all the way through. Let's see how Justice can respond. Both these teams fighting for their tournament lives. If you make fourth, you don't get auto-invited back to the next Gauntlet, and you don't get a chance to test your mettle against Chiefs or Icon. Misty taking control of the ball. A little bit wild there. It's kind of bouncing around up towards the top. Yeetzy going in, and he finds the score.
Each time they're just pulling their defense out. They're taking one player out. They're taking two. A double commit from Order, and Jules so close with that read, but the pre-jump just a little bit too high.
Oh, he was pixels away from making that happen. And Order, who have been so much more controlled and clean in the last few games, starting to show some signs of their earlier form. Siki starts the first touch here, picks up the ball, but gets stopped a little bit short. And now the onus is on Order to pick up a score, trying to equalize 2-1 with 4 minutes to play.
You just get stuck in the corner for quite a long time, but it doesn't matter if you're just going to get big redirects like that. Steve out of nowhere to get this redirect. He's just sitting in the midfield, just being like, oh, okay, I'll take that. It was so surprising that none of the members on Order saw it coming.
Yeah, the extra S stands for Stylen because he made that one look easy. 3-1. This game's getting out of hand, and Order are going to have to get a lid on it very quickly here. Jules trying to send it in for a quick one. Siki, that's his usual specialty as he goes to knock it in, but it goes wide to the left, and it's back in favor of Justice, clearing away again. They can just play game maintenance for here, Yummy.
They can, but that's always a scary thought, especially against Order, who are getting those good passes. We saw one that was just defended out in the nick of time, but Siki still putting shots on, putting passes on, and another big save, this time from Misty.
2 clears for Misty in the span of a couple of seconds. He just parks himself in front of the goal, but Dekka's going to send this one back flying again, and Dekka gets the score. Steve was not there in time. All of a sudden, we're back within a goal.
Just over the top, and Steve does not see this one coming. The surprises left, right, and center. This time, it's Dekka delivering a present straight into the net.
Oh, that's a poggers. 2-3 right now, and we're getting in down to the wire. A high-scoring game relative to what we've seen so far in this tournament. 3 minutes and a half to play. Jules starts it off, first touch, still in favor of Justice, but Order hot on their heels.
Everybody putting as much as they can into this final game. This is winner goes and takes all. Loser has to come and qualify once again for the Gauntlet.
Jules goes high, tries to get the clear off Misty. Meanwhile, is demoed by Dekka. Ball in Order court. See if they can get the center off. There's really no one there to respond. Siki going to move this away. Misty sending it back once again. Jules bops it with his back tire just to get it back in. You can see the attack from Justice still going strong, but they're losing control. Jules picking that one up, tries to send it through. And it's denied again. A lot of bobbles, a lot of possession changes. Siki going forward. Those quick shots, it might yet go in. Jules was there, but too high.
And no one on Justice had boost left, and that was the biggest opportunity.
It's going in!
Turned around, Misty, all the way down, almost no boost left, and still, Misty, the last player with anything in the tank, sends it all the way down the other end and punishes this Order attack.
Oh, and now we start to see things turn on its head for Order again. They were the ones that were more meticulous earlier in this game. Yeetzy gets a demolition off onto Dekka, getting some revenge from earlier, and 2 goals to make up in 2 minutes is a tall order for Order.
That's something to be said as well. Misty held on to his boost throughout that defense, knowing it would be needed at some point, and it was. Not only did it secure the defense, but it got them a goal, and 2 goals now in the lead. That was what we were saying is the magic number.
And not only that, but you can see Justice are not giving it up right now, still keeping this relentless attack on. Yeetzy nearly sent it in again, and it's forcing the Order players to sit inside their own net. That's not where you want to be to try and equalize. 1:40 seconds left to play. Goes, cleared once again. Yeetzy going to send this back to midfield. Dekka is there to pick it up. But really, no huge counterattacks just yet. You can see the ball is still on the orange side of the map, but Justice aren't too worried about it. They can always send that one flying, and this time it's centered again. Once more looking for an opening. Siki sends it off to the left side, picks it back up onto the ceiling and goes. But there's always an orange car there to try and turn it. Misty sending this one from half court again.
And Steve was looking for the demo. Very aggressive considering they're 2 goals in the lead.
And they're going to send it. Deca's there this time, but you can't afford to have too many close calls like that. We're running out of time. 1 minute, 5 seconds left. It's going back the other way, but it doesn't quite get off to the post.
It's been so close all series long, and now it might just be Justice Esports clinching this one out. They've still got the aggression, and Order haven't put an opportunity on for the last 2 minutes.
Still keep clearing as Order tries to take a couple more attempts, but they need to make up 2 goals. They've got less than a minute to do it. Their tournament lives are depending on it. Deca tries to get the center in, but it's just not happening here. Desperation for the members of Order trying to make this happen. 30 seconds remaining. Misty trying to knock another one in here, and Order are still hanging on, but it's so slim.
20 seconds left for Order. That's all they've got to stay in, and it doesn't look like it's going to be the case.
They're not going to have too many more opportunities. They need to score. They need to do it now. Trying to find an opening. Siki there, but he's surrounded by 3 members of Justice. Ball turns around. 10 seconds remaining. They just don't have the time. Deca gets 1. 6 seconds to try and force OT.
That's so good by Deca, but is there enough time? 6 seconds left on the clock. He gets up to that fast, beats out Justice Esports, who are thinking, we just need to defend. We just need to defend. Well, now they have to defend for 6 more seconds.
And all Justice need to do is keep this one in their favor. The ball starts rolling. Steve picks up the boost. He knocks it up. Order going to have to bobble this or they are out of this tournament. And there it is. Justice are moving on.
They cause the upset, and they do it in game number 7. What a close series. What a back and forth. Order almost bringing that one back. But still, Justice Esports, and we have to go back to the beginning of Game 7 with the Misty getting that absolute blinder of a goal off that top corner into the top right-hand side of the net. That is what started this Game 7. That is what brought it back for Justice.
And you could see that Order, they had an answer really quickly. It was 1-1 after that. Things started to get pretty favorable for Order for a bit, but they started slipping. They lost openers, and all of a sudden you could see those sunk shots. Everybody from the Justice side managed to find something, and it was just too much to try and turn around.
And most importantly, all 3 of the Justice members felt that by the end of the game that they were playing the way that they wanted to. They were comfortable, they were confident, but even at the end, even though Deca got 2 goals in that game, he never really felt like he was confident and comfortable. I think he's really getting into his own head, and this is where he's going to be working on for the next few weeks as he's trying to get back into the Gauntlet, because Order are now out, and Justice Esports, despite the odds, have earned their spot against Chiefs.
Yeah, pulling off the upset. 4th seed moving on will face off against Chiefs, and that is absolutely going to be a banger of a match as well. But Chiefs, that's a tough opponent to go up against, even though Justice are looking hot.
And we saw some mistakes coming out from Justice Esports, particularly with Steve missing a few balls that he really should getting outsped in places that you'd normally expect him to beat out his opponents. That is worrying when you are up against a team like the Chiefs that are experienced, that are strong, that are fast, and are mostly consistent. Well, mostly. That is going to be tough, but we're going to have to wait and see how that goes.
Yep, we'll be taking a 5-minute break. When we return, we will have Chiefs Esports Club taking on Justice Esports in the second leg of the Gauntlet. Don't you go anywhere. We'll be right back.